Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rosano, and this is episode 195 of the world famous University Love podcast, also known as Online Marketing Moves. We are coming to you today from the very rainy city of Atlanta, Georgia. I thought it was snowing a few minutes ago. I walked outside before I started recording. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a new day. Finally, we have a microphone that we are using for this podcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, if it's loud, if it's louder than normal, I apologize. If it's one thing it will be. It will be definitely clearer than what it normally was. You won't hear me moving around as much. Well, you won't hear me moving around at all. Once again, I apologize for the sometimes the audio was good, sometimes it was not so good, but we're definitely in the transition. We are definitely in the transition to make sure that the podcast sounds nice, crisp, and clear on a daily basis. So definitely bear with me. I've done like 10 run-throughs already today before I recorded because I wanted to make sure that I sounded pretty good. Well, that I sounded, good. Not pretty good, but I wanted to make sure I sounded good. I have a AT2020 microphone, and I have this audio equipment that I bought a while ago, Twisted Wave. So we are using that. So we will see how it goes. I will continue to give you updates. And please, if you have any feedback on the audio, you can always email me at tony@onlinemarketingmoves.com. Once again, that's tony@onlinemarketingmoves.com. And if you're my mom, you could just call me and let me know how it sounds. Our mama, I remember she called me one morning. It was like 6:00 in the morning, and she said, "You sounded like you was in the tunnel on one of them podcasts." And I said, "What?" I said, "What are you, my manager now? You called me at 6:00 in the morning to complain?" She said, "No, I'm just telling you. You maybe want to redo it, re-record it or something." I said, "I think it's too late for that." I said, "That was 24 hours ago, 48 hours ago, But anyway, I am happy to have this microphone. I don't know about you, but I remember when I first started driving trucks, I listened to a lot of radio, and I thought, man, that'd be kind of cool to be on the radio. And then when I was younger, like when I was 18, 19, I was like, it'd be cool if I could do like voiceover, But you never know. It's never too late. So I might have to give that a thought. Now that I have this, I already have this equipment, so you might as well get some use out of it, Why not? But anyway, today we are going to talk about pain, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about pain because I had a thought. A couple weeks ago, I was out checking my car. My car has a leak, has a oil leak, you know what I mean? And so I had to check it, put some oil, make sure I put oil in it, make sure it's oil in it, So about once a week, I have to check it because it has a slight leak. But the thing I was thinking, I was like, you know what? I'm sick of checking this oil every week. I'm sick of having to worry about making sure. I'm sick of having to worry about this. My car's like 10 years old, 15 years old. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'm sick of this, It's like a pain I had. And I said, you know what? I just want to go out and buy a new car. And when I mean buy a new car, I mean I just want to go out and pay like 50 to 75%, deposit, or just buy the car out in general. I don't want to have to do 5 years worth of payments or 4 years worth of payments. And I got to thinking, I said, this is why I started doing an online business for situations like this. Because, yeah, my job is, I enjoy the job I have. I don't have any complaints. Company I work for, probably the best trucking company I'm ever gonna work for. I have no qualms. I have no beefs, no complaints. It is what it is. It's a job. You know, so that's it. It's a job. But I want to be in control of the money I make. I want to be able to. I want to be in control of me saying, all right, I've generated X amount of money this month. I can go plump some money down, a big chunk of money down for a down payment, or just pay the car off in general in one swoop. I don't want to have to go through the pains of trying to deal with the car dealership, deal with 5 years worth of car payments, or I just don't want to deal with the pain of having to be out there checking oil to make sure that my leak doesn't get worse than what it is. It got me to think about money situations. We've all probably been through some kind of money situation, unless you were just born rich. But I mean, that's great and all, but you just get tired of the pain of always being on defense when it comes to money, because if you're working at a job and they pay you, they pay you enough to pay your bills, and you can save a little money, but why should you have to, as Garrett Gunderson would say? I listen to this guy named Garrett Gunderson sometimes on YouTube, and I listen to his podcast every now and then. He talks about wealth and finance and things like that, and he says, why do you have to scrimp and save to try to be a millionaire? Start a business or do something where you can generate more money than just the job you have, or more money than the income you have coming in. And he's 100% right. And that's one of the reasons a couple years ago I decided to start doing affiliate marketing, because I said I need to be in control of the money that I make. I don't want anybody else to determine my income. I don't want this job I have to determine my income. I don't want somebody that I don't even know saying, well, I don't think I like this guy. I'm going to give him, I'm going to short him on the loads, and then I don't make enough money to feed me or my wife, this, that, and the other. So this is one of the reasons why I started affiliate marketing. The pain that I have about, money issues, about, always being, not that I'm just flat broke, I mean, I'm grateful for the money that I have made, but I would like to make more money, you know what I mean? So, and it's not being greedy. You're not greedy if you have that same feeling. If you want to make more money, it's not about being greedy. It's just about, it's like the thing Forrest Gump said when he was, and when it's in the movie, if you ever seen the movie Forrest Gump, and after him and Lieutenant Dan, after they got real good at catching shrimp, he started getting real good at catching shrimp, and then Lieutenant Dan wrote him a letter and he said, I don't have to worry about money no more. He invested in some kind of fruit, and basically he took Forrest Gump's money and invested in Apple, and they made a bunch of money from the stock. So Forrest Gump said he don't have to worry about money anymore. And that's one thing that I don't want to have to worry about. I don't want to have to, keep worrying about money, keep worrying about, well, let me save, because I definitely do a good job of saving money. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I'm always kind of in pain or living in fear about the money. Like, what happens if this, that, and the other, and it's like you can always be one emergency away from just being flat broke, and I don't want that feeling. So this is why, for me, I think about whenever I don't want to whenever I don't want to send out an email, or I don't want to text somebody about an affiliate program, I think about the pain of that day, me just sitting out there with the oil. Or I just think about, even back when I was younger, thinking about when somebody would say, oh man, this is going to cost you like $700. And I go, man, it's going to take me like 2 weeks worth of pay just to save up that. And it's just those kind of things, those kind of situations. And I don't want to get into the credit card hijinks. I know a lot of people will tell you, well, just charge it to your credit card. But see, that's the thing. I don't want to be the typical person, say, well, swipe it on my credit card. No, I don't want that. I want the cash. I want the cash flow, me personally. I don't know about you, but for me, I don't want the credit card debt. I don't want the headache of that. Because you have to, even though credit card is great and everything, you can have a $20,000 limit. But if you put $20,000 on a credit card, you got to pay $20,000. You got to pay it back at some point. You have to pay it back. So that's a temporary. That's a temporary fix. That's just putting a Band-Aid over the dam. I want to be able to be like, $900, $1,500 here. I don't want to have debt. I don't want to have to worry about. I'm like Forrest Gump. I don't want to have to worry about money anymore. So that pain of money drives me to do more and more when it comes to my business, when it comes to affiliate marketing, when it comes to running a business online. That pain of me thinking about, I'm tired of being, I'm tired of worrying about money. I want to get to the point where, I'm not gonna become Warren Buffett. I'm not gonna be a 50 billion. I'm not gonna be worth $50 billion. And that's fine with me. But I'm gonna get to the point where I have no debt and I'm generating a nice sizable income every month. Where the one of the things I don't worry about is money. You know what I mean? It's like a quote in the Bible. Well, I can't really quote the Bible, but it basically says, the creditor, the borrower is a slave to the creditor. And why should I have to be a slave I don't want to be a slave to the creditor, and it's very true. When you owe somebody something, they just hold it over your head, You know how the phone, even the phone, when the phone rings about bills and stuff like that, that's a pain. Cause it's like, oh geez, how many times they gonna keep calling? I had these problems when I was younger, in my middle 20s. I was 25, 26. It was always something. Those pains I think about when I'm doing this stuff. Those are the pains that keep me going. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna stop until I get exactly to where I want to go. Until exactly I'm, comfortable and I don't have to worry about money. Because then, when you don't have to worry about money, that's when you can take it up a notch and you can try more things in your life. There's some kind of business, or there's some kind of, maybe you want to be a sports writer. You can not have to worry about money, and then you can just start writing. And the less stress that you have, the less stuff you have to think about, like money and where's my next meal gonna come from. The more time you have to be creative, the more thoughts you can have coming into your brain that's creative, that's flowing, and you can get a lot more accomplished. So I say all that to say, if you have those kind of pains, think about those when you say, oh, I'm tired. Because, lately I've been going on 4 hours of sleep, 5 hours of sleep. But, and my wife says, are you okay? I say, look, I'm fine. I know where I'm going. I know which direction I'm heading into. I know the success I want. I know the success I want us to have. I know that we are going to be parents soon, Lord willing, of course. But I'm excited about that. I'm excited about, this business. I'm excited about doing this podcast. And I'm excited to talk to you on a regular basis. Those things excite me. Those things keep me up. Those things do not make me tired. Because whenever I'm driving at night, listen, I'm not here to suck up to you, but when I'm driving at night, I definitely think about, what am I going to talk about? The podcast. I think about reaching out to more people. I think about little things like making the audio better. I think about, how can I get, getting the Facebook page really going so I can bring the podcast to more people. Because personally, and I'm not here to pat myself on the back, but the podcast is getting better, and I want people to, because for the longest time, I thought, who am I to try to do a podcast, or who am I to try to start a business, and I don't want anybody to have, not anybody, but people that actually want to, because everybody doesn't want to start a business. Some people, like I said, I don't have no problem with my job, but for me, it's too many hours. It's too many. I've done it for 15 years. I've done it long enough. At this point, I'm like, all right, I'm kind of over the whole driving, and now I'm working. I'm at home every day. It's great, but I'm working 12 hours a day, and it's like, man, I could be doing a whole lot of other things. You know what I mean? So, for me, I have no problem with the job, but it's the time for me. It might be something different for you, but for me, I want my time back. I kind of want my freedom to be able to go and come as I please. So for me, that and the fact that I don't want, a job pays me. The job pays me good. I have a nice house and all that kind of stuff, but I want to be able to say, hey, if my wife wants to go on a vacation, on a whim, I want to be able to be like, hey, I can plump down a couple $100 and we can just go. I don't have to sit there and think about it. You know what I mean? So for me, the pain of all that helps drive me to keep this business going, to keep this going, And like I said, talking to people, I like doing the podcast. I love doing the podcast. It's something that I've grown to love, and I like knowing that I am helping somebody, because somebody might have the same fear that I have, but I'm talking to them, and they might go, you know what, this guy can do it, which I hope you think that. You go, hey, if this guy can do it, then I know I can do it. So, that's one of the reasons why you should always produce content. Because even if you think you don't have anything to say, trust and believe me, you have something to say. Everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own journey in life, and it's, if you are willing to share your story, you will be amazed at what can happen. It's like what the great Zig Ziglar says: if you will get what you want by helping others get what they want. So I'll leave you on that note. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope the audio was good. This is day 1 of the new microphone. So we'll be back tomorrow with another episode of Online Marketing Moves. And like I said earlier, if you have any questions, any comments, you can always email me at tony@onlinemarketingmoves.com. All right. And with that being said, my name is Tony Rizzano. Thank you for listening. And as always, everybody, peace.